Our next guest, I'm very excited to bring him on, Philadelphia Eagles linebacker Alex Singleton. You Canadians probably know him as a Calgary Stampeder, Grey Cup champion, most outstanding Canadian, 2016 to 2018. But prior to that, in the league with the Seahawks, Patriots, and Vikings, and he's back on the show now and awaiting the season. Good morning, Alex. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. Happy to be on.
Good. It's good to see you. Nice to see that smiling face again. Now, you hail from Southern California. Judging by the background there, is that where you are today? Where are you getting your training in?
I'm back at home in Southern California. Did the quarantine and everything down here, so it's been good.
A great place to do it. How's the family, by the way? There was all the documentaries on your family throughout your CFL career. We feel like we know them. How's everybody done through the pandemic here so far?
Everyone's been really good. We actually were all here together for the quarantine, which was a lot of fun. Not as much room as there was when we were little growing up together, but it was really nice to have everyone home together. And some people saw we were doing Facebook Live workouts, so we had a lot of fun and we made the most of our time together and still are.
All right, good to hear. Now, I have to get this out of the way. The reason you're on the air with us is that you tuned into our Sim broadcast last week of the Stampeders and the Ticats and actually commented on the Stamps' stout run defense in that 18-8 win in Hamilton. How did you find it? How did it come across your Facebook feed?
I've been following, your show, obviously, and so it just was on the Facebook feed, and I was like, hey, I got to click into this. I heard you were, Bo had no rushing yards, so I was like, the simulator is pretty accurate. His run game as 0, so I was like, it's got to be real. So I had to tune in a little bit. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, and Stamps back on track, 3-1 after that 18-8 victory. Now to the Eagles, and look, you got a lot of fans up here, Alex, as you know, and not just Stamps fans. After what you did in 3 short years was nothing short of amazing. Can you just talk about your 2019 season? You got into 10 games. You were a force out there. How would you typify your season in 2019 for the Eagles and the teams?
It was a good year. It was nice to come down and make a team. Like you said, prior, I bounced around and been on a lot of different NFL teams before. What Canada was able to do for me, in the CFL, and then give me this opportunity when I became a free agent in 2019 to come down and make the Eagles and eventually play. And just do whatever I can. I think, like you said, there's a lot of people in Canada who follow me and know how I can play. So to be able to prove that a little bit this last season was nice, and I'm just excited to whenever training camp's going to be, and hopefully a season I get to go out and keep doing that for 2020.
This is jumping into my mind, Alex. You are a guy that just loves to play the game. You've been smiling since the second we brought you on here with the interview, and honestly, as the voice of the Riders, there was a game in Regina, you would remember it. Stamps won, and you were running around blowing kisses to the crowd, and I'm like, I hate that guy, which is awesome with the rivalry. That's what makes it fun. CFL, NFL, did it feel the exact same? I mean, did the juices, do they feel the same between the two leagues?
Oh, yeah. I think, I tell people all the time, you got your 1% guys in the NFL that are really different. Your Julio Joneses, guys like that are just beyond the most athletic guys in the world. But the other 99% are really, it's just guys that had the right opportunity, were recruited out of high school that, had a good opportunity, that went to, a good college that was kind of the system to go to the NFL. So, yeah, it's definitely the same energy from players and the fans. I love, like you said, in Regina, it gets heated, and it's always fun.
Well, they say those Philly fans, you know what they say about them. They're the rankest in sport. Where would you rank them with Rider fans? And coincidentally, they both wear green. Can you compare the two?
You could compare them, but Philly it's known for what it's known for. But I will say there is nothing like a Rider when you're wondering when you're in a different state and you go to a football game or a hockey game or anything. There's always a Rider fan, and you can't beat them. And the best part about them is if I do see them, they usually will recognize me for some, and it's like you guys are really true fans, so you can't beat them. But Philly, I don't know if anything touches Philly. Philly's it's a different animal for the good
violent. Yeah, I don't think Rider fans are necessarily violent. They just love their team. But I mean, I'll tell you some stories if we ever get together about. I was, just about beaten up because people in Dallas thought I was wearing Eagles shoes. I was wearing Rider shoes. They thought they were Eagles shoes, and I almost got beat up. But mind you, that was Cowboys fans. So, Alex, I got to ask you, let's just back up a little bit. Montana State, you were classified as a non-import in the CFL. What was the distinction? What made you Canadian status for the CFL?
My mom is Canadian, so after I had left Montana State, when I was in Seattle, my agent kind of asked, like, hey, would you ever go play up in Canada? And I said, yeah, of course. And I know you have to have Canadian players, and I kind of just said my mom's Canadian. And so we got the wheels rolling, and I got citizenship during that season. So then the next season, the year I ended up being drafted to Calgary, I was a Canadian. But yeah, before that, I was actually on Ottawa's neg list for the whole 2015 season.
Did you spend any time in Canada as a kid growing up then because of your mom's background and roots?
One wedding when I was 2. So I had been there, a few days, one weekend in Toronto, but no, not until I moved up there, in 2016.
And then you go to one of the most beautiful cities in all of Canada, Calgary. I mean, obviously you loved it there, right? Just talk about your 3 years in Calgary and what that was like.
I still, any chance I get to go back to Calgary, I go. I love it. It's definitely home. Still, to me, it could always be one day. It's a place that I have on my list that I would move back to forever. The city, just when I went up there, I moved up there and didn't come home for 3 years. It was kind of I was going to stay and make the most of my opportunity. And not only do I think I did, but then just the city and how they embraced me, what they allowed me to do, the fans, just from every top to bottom, it's really one of the best places in the world for me.
Well, and it is. There's no doubt. But the funny story, by the way, is that you didn't go number 1 overall. And because I talk to so many scouts and GMs all the time, they're like, "How did Alex fall to number? What number did you go?"
6.
6. Yeah, that's late. But did you not say there was only certain teams that you would go to? What do you remember about your draft year?
No, everybody, says that or asks that. I think for whatever reason they thought because I had gone to Montana State that I was only going to play in Calgary or anything. I mean, anyone that knows me now, probably, like you said, I just love playing football. I would have played anywhere. I'm excited for when they're going to put a new team in the East, make it 10 and maybe I'll just come up and play for them for a couple games. So I don't care where it is. Now I would, now obviously Calgary would get a first choice if I ever am a free agent again. But, before that, no, it was, whoever was going to take me and just give me that opportunity to play football.
I'm glad that we straightened that out today. Because I guess it's the teams that didn't draft you. They're like, he would only go to Calgary, so we moved on, right? Just to kind of cover their own tracks for not.
Right? Yeah.
That's hilarious. So you said if there's camp, what are you hearing? Obviously, you're a member of the NFL Players Association. It's not that long before camp's supposed to start. What are you hearing?
Stay ready. It could be any day. I know they're in negotiations with them. All the new protocols, the health protocols you have to do for, every company right now to just get started. And so I know that's really what they're talking about, how we're going to get 100 guys plus, trainers and coaches and everybody just in a building to be able to work together. And that's just what they're getting ready on. But yeah, everyone, we're training hard. I'm going, right after this to go work out and, just keep the body right and just be ready, because I know they're really, the 28th is the day that they're still shooting for. That's the day that they want to still start camp.
All things being equal, how do you think the Eagles fit in the NFC East?
Oh, our team is ready to go. I think we were last year. Kind of hit some bumps and stuff, but it's one of the best teams I've ever been on, top to bottom. I mean, you look at the guys. I don't think there's a group in the NFL that has a better, individual group or individual players, so it's going to be exciting. I know all the guys are ready. We did virtual meetings all summer. We're ready to go. It's we're chomping at the bit to get this thing started.
2 last questions for you. One, producer Clark has pointed out, we had Mark and Michelle on with us not that long ago from Fort Lauderdale. You've been teammates with him in 2 places. You can't get away from that guy. What's your relationship with Mark and Michelle?
No, I love Markin. We actually lived together in Philly when we, we're both there, and you kind of gotta have people to stay with. It's a guy that's going to grind. Yeah, I'm excited, to see, what he's going to do, where he's going. Everyone that follows him, you can see he works hard every day. Just one of the best guys, a guy that won a championship with, and just excited to call him a friend, but then just to see what he's going to do in his career.
Just a super dude, yeah, for sure. And I got to ask you about your sister. I remember that Grey Cup in Edmonton, the feature that was done on her. You are her absolute icon, idol, mentor, everything. How many jerseys? Does she have one of your jerseys for every team? How did it feel for you to go from the Stamps to the Eagles? Did she switch allegiances easily? Is she still following Calgary, or what's her fandom right now with her brother Alex?
Well, yeah, she's all in on the Eagles. Yeah, the first thing she wanted was her shirt, was her new jersey, couple shirts, so she's still a full-time CFL fan. My mom would actually say it's worse now because now she watches every CFL game and then the NFL game. So it's kind of football just doesn't get turned off now, when before she just could just not watch the NFL and just CFL. And it was a lot easier with only 9 teams. So now she is a football grinder. And still cheers for the Stamps. She is still a Stamps fan. If the Stamps lose, I get a phone call about how Bo played, and yeah, she's a true Stamps fan.
Somebody should be hiring her as a scout. There's probably scouts that don't watch as much film as she does then.
Oh yeah, she's watching everything. She replays them. They record them. It's funny, yeah. And all the guys, like if someone leaves Calgary, then she'll be, because now Micah's in BC. And when they get to play, she'll be a Lions fan if they're not playing Calgary because of Micah. Or she's still a huge Charleston fan, so she will wear Kelly. Well, not wear it, but she'll support a little Kelly green every once in a while. It's
you got the right green. That's the Rider green.
Yeah.
What do they call the Eagles green?
It's midnight green is I think what it is now. But the Kelly green's the throwback. But my high school was Kelly green, so I have a little allegiance.
You got a history with it. All right. Well, Alex, I appreciate the time. This has been way overdue. Big fans up here for sure. And stay safe, healthy, get on the field, and good luck this year.
Appreciate it. And you guys as well. I've always been following. Happy to have hopped on.
Yeah, thank you. Alex Singleton of the Eagles joining us from Thousand Oaks, California. And deep down, I liked him. I just didn't like him blowing kisses to our fans in our stadium.
Of course not. You hate the guys on the other
right.
team.
He would understand that as a competitor, I'm sure.
You hate the guys on the other team that are good. The guys that are making all the plays and then rubbing it in your face. Yeah, of course you hate those guys. But that's awesome. And how do you not cheer for that guy now, right? You just have to, respect.
I cheered for him the second he left.
I know.
Because I knew.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.